Good day, class. Welcome to the continuation of our lesson on power, influence, and politics. Influence will require a lot of persuasion, and persuasion will require the following: building credibility, finding common ground, developing compelling positions, connecting with people emotionally, creating a continuous feedback loop, being patient, and never beginning with a hard sell. A hard sell refers to a selling approach that features direct and insistent language. A hard sell is designed to get a person to accept a good service or idea in the short term, rather than letting them evaluate his or her options and potentially decide to wait on their own. Hard sell sounds desperate. People can sense when a person is desperate to sell an idea. The desperation rouses immediate suspicion. Sometimes subordinates can influence superiors. Upward influence is the ability to influence superiors. The following are upward influence tactics of subordinates. These are combinations of tactics that tend to be used together: ingratiation, using flattery; exchange, offering to trade favors; rationality, using logic and reason; assertiveness, using aggression and nagging; coalition formation, forming a united front with others; upward appeals, appealing to organizational superiors. Note that the tactics used are based on the leader's sources of power. People tend to have a preferred upward influence style that they use when trying to influence their managers. The four upward influence styles are: shotgun, uses the most influence and emphasizes assertiveness and bargaining; tactician, uses an average amount of influence and emphasizes reason; bystander, uses little influence with superiors; ingratiator, uses a friendliness strategy. Organizational politics. Organizational politics are social influence attempts directed at those who can provide rewards that will help promote or protect the self-interest of the actor. Common political tactics in organizations are: controlling information. This is restricting information to certain people. Controlling lines of communication. Establishing gatekeepers to restrict access to information. Using outside experts. Outside consultants are used in order to ask for information and advice. Controlling the agenda, ensuring only certain topics are discussed. Image building, building coalitions, befriending powerful people, or starting small subgroups to promote specific aims. Eliminating political rivals. Game playing, this is leaking information and getting only friends to provide feedback. And controlling decision parameters, this is trying to influence decisions before they are made. Politics is affected by organization culture and individual employees. Politics will more likely to occur in ambiguous and uncertain environments. Destructive politics is more noticeable, while constructive politics are unnoticeable. A workplace perceived as highly political creates the following: greater job anxiety, greater intentions to leave, lower job and supervisor satisfaction, lower organizational commitment, lower productivity. More actual political behavior. This is if employees think they are in a political environment, they will engage in political behavior themselves. Causes of political behavior: conflict, uncertainty, scarcity of valued resource, inaction. Inaction is not only not accomplishing something with a sense of purpose, but also includes going along to get ahead. Organizational policies that reward employees who engage in political behavior and punish those who don't. Political behavior can be reduced by the following: formal rules and procedures, clear job expectations, open communication, managers who confront poorly behaving employees, managers who serve as good role models, keeping the number of subordinates assigned to each manager at a reasonable level, understanding the motivations and aspirations of subordinates. A technique used by people engaged in politics is impression management, also called self-presentation. It is the conscious or subconscious process in which people attempt to influence others' perception. Impression management is the process of creating or portraying a desired image or attitude to shape or control the impression that others form about us. When a man, for example, is checking his appearance before he attends an important meeting, this is also impression management. There is nothing wrong with wanting to make a good impression, of course, as long as the impression being created is valid. The following are cues that someone is using impression management. Although it can take a lot of experience and practice to be able to interpret them correctly, individuals engaging in impression management often display the following involuntary cues resulting from the emotions and cognitive effort required to manage their self-presentation. Elevated speaking pitch, speaking at a higher pitch as compared to someone telling the truth. Speech errors, interspersing words with a, or speech pauses, allowing greater periods of silence while engaged in a conversation, negative statements, using words like no, not, can't, and won't, eye shifting, looking away rather than at the person to whom they are speaking, increased pupil dilation, pupils tend to widen as they would in dim lighting, blinking, frequent blinking, tactile manipulation, fondling or manipulating objects with the hands, leg fidgeting, leg twitches, foot tapping, and swiveling or rocking when sitting, less hand gesturing, speaking less with the hands, and keeping the head relatively still. That ends today's lesson. Thank you for listening. Have a nice day, and God bless.